Good morning, Year 3. So I hope that you're really enjoying the English work based on the Rite of Passage video and the adventures of Toki in the jungle and the chameleon. I love the chameleon. He's very cute, isn't he? So today, Miss Bate has also helped to plan this lesson, and you will get to meet her when you get back to school on the 8th of March, which is very exciting. But today I'm just going to talk you through what we would like you to do, okay? So we're continuing to look at speech. So just as a little starter activity, I want you to look at the purple speech and the blue speech and have a read of it and have a think which one is better and why. So if you pause the video and have a think. Okay, what did you think, guys? Now, I definitely thought that the blue one was better, okay, because the purple was, hello, Toki said. Hi, said the chameleon. Now, it's fine because all the punctuation is in the right place, but it's a little bit boring, isn't it? It's just very simple. Whereas this one here, the blue one, we've got, hi, hello, said Toki, nervously. So we've got an adverb to say how he said it, as he backed away from the chameleon. So he's doing there an action to show how he's saying the words and what he's doing as he speaks. And then we've got, hi, said the chameleon, whilst he smiled anxiously. So again, it's an action that he's doing as he's talking. Because we know that when we talk, we don't really stand there doing nothing, do we? We often make lots of expressions. We might move our hands. We might move our bodies to show different things. Okay, so that's what we're going to be looking at today. Improving our speech work by using things like adverbs, subordinate clauses. Okay, thinking how those can help us to improve our writing. So, an adverb then is just a word that describes a verb. So remember, a verb's an action or a doing word like walking or clapping or running. And then the adverb describes how you do that action. So the boy looked at the chameleon nervously. So the word nervously is an adverb in that sentence because it tells us how the boy looked at the chameleon. It tells us how he did the action. And we know because he'd only just met him, he looked at him very nervously to start with because he wasn't sure who he was he? Can you think of any other adverbs that might be useful in our writing to describe how the characters talk to one another? Pause the video and have a think. What did you come up with then, guys? I thought of curiously, nervously, loudly, happily, excitedly, and also the word inquisitively, and you might not know what that means. If you do something inquisitively, it means you're very curious about it. You want to find out more. So when Toki looks at the chameleon, he does look at him very inquisitively because he doesn't quite know who he is, does he? Okay, super. Now a subordinate clause, so remember we've talked about these before. Subordinate clause is the part of the sentence that doesn't make sense on its own, okay? It can't have its own capital letter and full stop. So if we look at this example here, who are you? Asked Toki as he poked the strange creature in front of him. Now, the blue part couldn't have its own capital letter and full stop because it doesn't make sense. As he poked the strange creature in front of him. That isn't its own sentence. It needs to have a subject, Toki in this case, and a verb, asked, for it to make sense. Okay? So today we're going to do some work on adding those things into our writing to improve our sentences. So here I've got a direct speech sentence. Woohoo! Screamed Toki. So I've got my inverted commas in the right place around the word spoken, and I've got my exclamation mark to show that it's an exclamation sentence because Toki is really excited. Okay? Now, I could add in an adverb to explain how he screamed. So I could add in loudly, okay, because often when you scream, it's really loud, isn't it, a scream? I could add in excitedly, because he's excited, isn't he, to be going on the adventure with the chameleon. Now, I could add in the word quietly, but would that adverb work in that sentence? I don't think it would, because when you scream with excitement, you scream loudly, don't you? It's not very often that you would scream quietly. So the word quietly wouldn't work in our sentence. Okay? You might like to pause the video and have a think of some more adverbs that you could use in that sentence there. Now, we could also add in a subordinate clause to give more detail about what Toki is doing as he is screaming. So I've done, woohoo, screamed Toki as he gripped onto the chameleon's back. So I've got my conjunction there, as, and then I've given the action that he's doing as he's screaming. So he's gripping on tightly to the chameleon's back, isn't he? Okay. You could also do, woohoo, screamed Toki as he raced to catch some animals. Okay, so he's also racing around, isn't he, trying to look for some animals. Okay. You might like to pause the video here and have a think what else Toki might be doing as he's screaming. Okay. Brilliant. Let's look at another one together. So again, we've got a simple direct speech sentence here. Who are you? Asked Toki. So we've got my inverted commas just around the word spoken, and then my question mark, because it's a question sentence, just before the last inverted comma. Okay. So I could improve it by adding in an adverb to explain how he asked the question. Now I could use nervously. That would work quite well because Toki is nervous of this strange creature. And also he's pretty huge, isn't he? So he probably feels really nervous next to him. I could say curiously, because often when you see something new, you want to find out more, you want to ask more questions. Okay? Now I could use excitedly, but I don't think in this part of the speech he is excited. I think he's more nervous because he's kind of backing away from him, isn't he, in the picture, because he doesn't know who he is. Okay, can you think of any more adverbs to describe how he asks the question to the chameleon? Okay, then we can add in a subordinate clause to give more detail about what the characters are doing as they speak. So when Toki's asking the question, who are you? What might he be doing? So if I look at the picture, that gives me some clues. Okay, so I've got who are you with my inverted commas around it. Asked Toki as he backed away from the strange creature. Okay, now notice I've called the chameleon a strange creature rather than writing chameleon again to make my writing a bit more interesting. And then I've got who are you? Asked Toki, whilst he tried to turn away from the creature. So slightly different there. I've changed the words a little bit, okay? You might do, who are you? Asked Toki as he tried to hide, okay? Or who are you? Asked Toki as he stared at the strange creature in front of him, maybe. Okay, now, I want you to have a go now at thinking of how you could improve this sentence here. So we've got, go faster, screamed Toki. And he's collected one of the larger animals there, hasn't he? So what might he be doing as he says that, as he looks at the tiger with happiness, as he pulls on the chameleon's hair to make him go faster, you could say, go faster, screamed Toki, as his face grinned with excitement, maybe. Okay. Can you think of any adverbs that you could add in? How would he be screaming? Okay. Pause the video and have a think. Okay. I thought we could add in the adverbs maybe excitedly or happily. Perhaps not sadly though, because he looks in the picture and as he's saying it, he doesn't look like he's sad. Okay, so that one wouldn't fit in this sentence. And then the subordinate clauses that I came up with were, "Go faster," screamed Toki as he grinned from ear to ear, because he's so happy. And then, "Go faster," screamed Toki whilst he imagined being the chief of the tribe. Because remember, he wants to have the largest head, doesn't he? So he can be the leader of the tribe, doesn't he? Okay, super duper. So you have a couple of activities today. The first one, there's 3 different pictures from the film, and I want you to think of what actions the characters might be doing as they're speaking and what they would be saying to each other. So in this picture here, I've put that Toki might say, "Who are you? You're scaring me." And then the actions he might do as he's speaking, I've put as he backed away from the creature and as he tried to escape. Okay. This one I might think that Toki's going to say something like, "Go faster, I want to catch all the animals." And I might say, as he pulled on the chameleon's hair, or as he looked eagerly round the jungle. Okay. Now this one, I might do the chameleon. The chameleon might be saying something like, "Please rescue me, Toki." Okay, as he begged him to let him go. Toki might be saying something like, "Oh, I don't know what to do." Okay, or maybe, "I'll try and save you," as he stared at the chameleon in disbelief, maybe. So just pause the video. You might just like to think about it, or you can write down some ideas for each picture. Okay. Then, your main task today, we have some quite boring sentences here. Okay, there's 6 of them. Now they're all punctuated correctly, but what we want you to do today is we want you to think about how you can improve them. Okay, maybe by adding in an adverb, or by adding in a subordinate clause to show what the characters are doing as they are talking. So for the first one, I've put an example to help you. So, "Who are you?" asked Toki as he poked the strange creature in front of him to see if it was real. Okay. For the second one, we might do, "You scared me," Toki said as he jumped back from the creature. Okay. So you have a go now at improving those sentences. I know that you'll be super. And then once you've done that, there's a little quiz for you to have a go at. So you've got to work out what type of word the word in red is. Okay? And you might like to just do that by reading it on the screen and then writing it down. Okay? So I hope you get on okay with today's activities, guys. I know that you will be excellent at that. Okay, well done everybody. Thank you for your hard work.